you. And they're here tonight, present and everything, so thank you for coming.
Aww.
And I wrote this poem because I did an event at school, and it was for Black History Month.
Yes!
So I was asked to speak at it, which is kind of funny, I know.
It's
So
about time.
I'm very white. Alright, but I was like the only white person there, which is cool. Like, it's cool with me, but I don't think it's cool with them. So, like, so the host said something that I really didn't like. So I was sitting front row, and he goes, you know, some days I just want to stab one of those white people at work. So I was like, oh yeah, us white people are the only problem, right? So I wrote about it. I hope you guys like this. It's just, all right. It's called Checkmate. If I forget it, I'm gonna look at it as a. I'm sorry, your music thing. I don't know. Thank you.
Oh.
Forget it. I'm gonna remember. Okay. It's called Checkmate. I did not enslave you. Stop looking at me like my whole race plagued you like pawns in a chess game. Call me queen, not because my people are supreme, but because I'm a human being. Not a product of my race. Don't misplace the right words and start making wrong accusations. People of the same skin don't all belong to the same kin. Didn't Martin Luther King fight to make this an equal nation? He didn't fight for us to redirect hatred. I didn't put those shackles on your feet, beat you till your blood seeped through your thick skin, so stop blaming me for what other people did. Weren't you the ones who couldn't stand being judged by the color of your skin? A classic case of ignorance, of do as I say, not as I do. You can hate me because I'm white, but don't hate me because you think that I hate you too, with no basis or reliable reason except for what people of the past went through. You don't hear me talking about gas chambers and Hitler. That's because just like you, I wasn't there. I'm not a Holocaust survivor, just like you weren't a slave. You're sadly mistaken if you think you're still living that way.
Oh, God! No, rewind!
Though that way you could play victim rightfully, so you can enlighten me. Tell me what my people put your people through. Newsflash, I can read too. I can research what your ancestors went through. I've got just as much of a right to talk about it as you do. Now let me enlighten you. My ancestors were slaves too. That was 6,000 years ago. They were enslaved by the pharaohs of Egypt. Looks like you didn't do your research. People with dark skin weren't the only victims, they just got recognition. So let's be real now. Racism is obviously still alive, but it's not just because of the whites. And apparently, it's okay for you to talk about us however you like. Like, damn, some days I just want to stab one of those white people I work with. But if I dared substitute black for white, I would probably lose sight of tomorrow. Y'all be regulating my speech, because it really isn't free. Then I had a lecture about the right way to speak. But there really are no politically correct words to use when there's a tendency to be offended by everything I call you. But what about me? Wiggle, cracker, Jew, should I not be offended by the terminology you use? Funny how all the black girls in high school used to call me black girl. If you didn't see me, you wouldn't put a color to me. But now that you see I'm white, you suddenly don't respect me. I'm less of a human being. I'm less of a human being. So before you judge prematurely, why don't you get to know me? I'm not a representation of every white human being. I'm not a representation of every white human being, and I think I'm right when I say that you discriminate against your own race. Light skin, dark skin, there's really no winning. You're preaching lies and spinning my truth. It's really no use. You're losing at your own game. If you act like pawns, we'll play you that way. Call me queen, not because I'm supreme, but because you have given me that name. It was never even me. It was never even me. Really, you have the ability to determine who you are. If you play victim, we'll follow suit. You want to be the slave, then it's entirely up to you. But if you want to be king, then I'd be happy to be your queen. Equality was led by royalty. Martin Luther King did the work of dreaming the dream. The least we could do is follow through with it. The position of king is open. Now it's up to you to decide what you do with it.